Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have an anonymous female left behind and forward-moving spouse with a bomb drop of October 2nd, 2022, a date of marriage of 2011. She has a clinging boomerang who is a high-energy replayer. She says, I feel like my husband is stuck in a cycle of wallowing in self-pity. He has expressed regret. He told me he cries every day and he realizes all the good he had. Yet he seems certain that our marriage can never be fixed because he is broken, he's a damaged person, and he can never make up for what he did or be what I deserve. These are his words. He says he needs closure so he can wake up from this nightmare. He tells me he will support me with whatever I need and seems to view ending our marriage as a way of punishing himself. He says he has accepted that he will never be happy, but needs closure to settle his soul. He makes comments like this every few months, but never follows through on anything. I think I have done a good job with being kind, calm, and reassuring, but just don't know if he will ever get past this negative way of thinking. Okay, for everybody listening, this is what you are describing. This is a classic sign of what happens or what they feel, rather than say happen. I don't want it to think of it as action. The feelings of when they are having an awakening. Because you may have heard me say this in the last few months recently. The awakening is not when they wake up to the end of their MLC. An awakening is what he's said. He realizes all the good he had. He recognizes, he realizes, he feels regret for what he has done. He knows he did it. And yet, what he's realized with that is, it can't be fixed. I'm broken. I'm going to get what I deserve. And I'm going to punish myself because that's what I deserve. And what is the next one he said? Settle his soul. He's accepted he will never be happy. This is how they crash into liminality. This is how it happens. Now, it doesn't mean he is or isn't in liminality, because they feel this way. They're like, I don't like this. This feels terrible. Go back to replay. Go back to the replay avoidance activities. And crash, crash, crash. This is the awakening that does send a person into liminality, where they face those demons. But who wants to face the demons? So some of the things that you're doing are just perfectly right. Yes, he is not going to follow through because he doesn't want to leave you. He said that. He wants to wake up from the nightmare, and he thinks the only solution to it is to martyr himself for you. So a few truth darts for him. He'll still make excuses, and you'll think, oh, that didn't work. Well, it's not gonna. These are seeds. He's broken, he's damaged, can never do these things. He says he needs closure so he can wake up. It's not fair to you, though. So he's getting what he deserves by being, say, without you, by leaving you, by not being there. But are you getting what you deserve? You say, you're feeling all this guilt. And first, I really want you to know, I feel a lot of empathy for what you're going through. I can see that you're processing and that you're feeling a lot of hurt. And you're feeling a lot of regret. I'm not going to use the word remorse yet, okay? That might be starting, but I'm not going to use it because I don't want him to take it too far. And you've said, we just have to end it. And the it you're trying to end is our marriage. You say you have to do divorce because it's what you deserve, because you don't deserve me. But what do I deserve? If that's the case, and divorce, let's just say divorce equals pain. Do I deserve that? You're feeling guilty for causing pain. And so some of the actions that you are doing to solve it, that you think are going to stop the bleeding, are just continuing it. And I get it. You don't know how. I don't know how either. But I know it's possible. I know what you're feeling is normal. I know what you're feeling, given what has happened and what your actions, what you've done. The feelings you're feeling are normal, and they're good in the sense that they show you're not some narcissistic jackass, but you can feel pain and you can feel guilt and you have empathy. You recognize when you've hurt others and that when you've been doing damage. That's a good thing. There is a conscience in there, and that's good. All of these things you're feeling that make you want to cry every day, I know they hurt, but they are indicative of a person who cares. Because there are people out there that they don't care who they stomp on their way to whatever. You're not one of those. So I know that you're in pain, but I'm seeing in your pain some positive signs of progress for your future. What you're seeing where it feels like you're not moving forward is actually forward movement. It's just that on this journey, there's this piece of it that's like, okay, this part is the part that hurts. And it's part of the journey. You skip over it, you skip the lessons that come with it. You skip over it, you don't process through the pain. And you're in that now. You're both in that. So I want you to use that as reassurances to him that you can tell from how he's feeling that he is a good person and that you believe in him. And you have the evidence because of how he's feeling is evidence. So you can back up. I'm just not believing you. This is not a blind faith. But he is showing you that person within, that he can feel pain and empathy. And then you reassure that people don't know how to get out of it. We're going through and you keep marching through. Some of it is accepting that there is an end to this. It's depression. And the person who is depressed feels hopeless. And so they need you for the hope. They need you to believe in them because they don't believe in themselves. And somebody's got to do it for them. That's our job. And he's going to make those comments. And because he's making the comments, it gives you something to respond to without having to just initiate. What if you initiated and you were wrong on that day? I can see that you're feeling really horrible. Or maybe you have one of those spouses who hates when you guess at their feelings. Maybe they hate it even more if you're right. Sometimes Chuck would say that I hate when I'm told how I feel. Some people feel really assured. Oh, I'm so glad that, I don't feel as alone because other people, somebody has that empathy for me. Your job, you said you're doing a good job with being kind, calm, reassuring. And you are not even 2 years in. Sorry. I'm so sorry. You are a year and a half, 18 months in. And it is on time now at 18 months, not for the past, or early, because you've been seeing this for a while, for liminality. That doesn't mean they don't come early. I mean, it's just not, it's just off of the statistics, okay? But what that does mean is I want you to expect him to cycle. Or just sit there in his wallowing and not do anything about it for a while. But while he's sitting there, there is somebody else there. And you're not always in the room with him. I don't want you to be the crutch. You get to be the crutch when he actually needs you. In other words, if he calls you at 2 a.m. and he is having a problem, and it's a real problem with, he's trapped on the freeway with a flat tire, you will help him, whether that means that you go yourself or you send help. But when is it that you are enabling or not allowing him to feel the consequences of his actions? He calls you again at 2 a.m. in the drunk tank. He's been arrested for drinking and driving. And it's a weekend. Maybe he has to stay in there. Maybe, I'm not saying all the time, maybe, you know what, I will be there, but I can't get there right now. Or I'll be there, but I'm not going to post your bail. You have to come up with the money. Or, you know what, I will be there so that you can help, so that I can sit with you as you and help you get out, but I'm not going to get you the lawyer. I'm not going to give you the money. You're not going to rescue him from his own deeds that he doesn't need rescuing from. But you are going to rescue him from this other act where maybe he did something wrong, but it caused a flat tire, and he's on the freeway. It's 2 a.m. and it's a dangerous place. He's in a drunk tank or whatever. I don't know that you're always safe in jail, but he is not going to be hit by a car. Okay? So know when, because I don't want you to be his crutch, and he will lean on you as that crutch. But the good side of that is that he knows he can. In other words, he knows that you are out there caring for him. You offer the reassurances. I'm here for you. That doesn't mean I'm going to rescue you, though. It doesn't mean that I will be the what picks you up. I will be here as your cheerleader. A helping hand, they hate it. My kids hate it too, is this. Not always, where's the camera? This. It doesn't mean you always pull them up. They have to get themselves rescued. But I'm going to cheer you on as you do it. And then I'm going to be here, and I'm going to give you a hug, and I'm going to believe in you because I know you can do it. And if you need help getting therapy, only go so far. If he says, yeah, could you help me find somebody? Maybe you say yeah. But if he doesn't ever go through, you have to realize he's not going to, and you stop and say, okay, you have to get yourself somebody. I did that last month. I looked for you. I gave you a list. But you know what? You haven't done anything with it. I can't do all of the work. They have to be willing to do some pieces of the work. Otherwise, you are enabling. You're enabling them to just get rescued because he's depressed. And we don't want him to go just get a medication that covers up the problem. And now I feel better. The energy's up. But the problems didn't get solved. Liminality serves a purpose where we reintegrate. We work toward getting to reintegrate. We have to go through all that stuff that we want to throw away from us or reintegrate into us, ourselves, the pieces of ourselves that are broken. And if he just takes a pill, it doesn't put those pieces back together. It just gives you the energy to pop back up anyway. So one of the things they say is talk therapy plus medication is very helpful. Together they work well or much better than either one alone. Sometimes you're so low that talk therapy, yeah, you might talk about it, but your brain is still being hijacked. Now you get the brain, the pharmaceuticals, and your talk, those can work in concert together. And if he's not going to do either of them, there's nothing you can do about that. Sorry. It's accepting that and still being there for him. And if it is too much and breaking you, then you have to say, I love you. I can't handle watching you do this. There may come a point for that. Time-wise, you're not there. And if you are getting broken through this, then I want you to find some therapy. Because it is too early. Really. Not that there aren't cases that don't, but statistically too early for him to really be ready for that turnaround. He's just barely getting there. Okay. I hope this helps you. And I will see everybody in the next question.